Is there any better afternoon than running downwind on a big schooner, mainsail sheeted out, fog bank behind you, home in front? Had the mainsail up for the first time today. The crew have worked towards this for over 2 months now. This is a big day. The engines are shut off. We're making 7.5, 8 knots running off the wind back into Lunenburg Bay. So this is a great, great day for us, and I hope the crew appreciate that this has been happening for 60 years and they're the latest group to go through, and hopefully there'll be many more to follow. Nice sunny day in Lunenburg here today. Great day to bend on topsails. So last week we took the crew out and we showed them how to set the 4 lowers. That's mainsail, foresail, jumbo, and jib. Today's a maintenance day for us, and part of the work that we're doing is bending on the topsails. So 90 feet in the air, there's a couple of people up each mast, and they're bending on the sails, and those sails live up there. When we go to set those sails to put the ship under full sail, you'll see people climb the rigging and climb out onto the peak halyards and pass lines down to the deck, and it's a big responsibility sending people up there, and it's a big thrill for them to go. Putting the ship under full sail generally takes us about an hour. We can do the 4 lower sails in 15 minutes or so, and then we need probably another hour to set the ship under full sail, particularly with a new crew when we're teaching them all. So that's today's job. This week we've been open house to the public. We've been having somewhere 700-800 people a day visit the ship. So it's good numbers for early in the spring. We're pleased to welcome people aboard the ship and pleased to tell the story to our visitors. One of the great things about doing this video blogs is that people from all over the world have been able to see them, and it gives us a chance to share our story to a wider audience than people that can just visit us here on the ship. So a special shout out to my friend Tim in Chile, who took the time to email us and say hello. And for the Nova Scotians that are watching this, I would encourage you to help us share the ship story and to send our videos and our written logs to your friends around the world, and we'll help share the Blue Nose story and the Nova Scotia hospitality. It's a fun day on the Lunenburg waterfront this morning. It's the International Dory Races qualifying and elimination races. So it's the best teams from Nova Scotia and Canada racing off for the right to represent Canada against the United States in Gloucester later in the month. This is the last vestige of the schooner races back in the day when they would race Best Canadian against Best American. So today we're racing dories, and we'll eventually race Best Canadian against Best American. One of the great stories in the dory races this morning is a team of Blue Nose alumni in the Open Ladies race. Natalie Greek and Emily Montour both served aboard the ship. They probably learned to row dories here in our dories on the ship in their part-time. So I'm excited to see them race today on the course, and I hope they do well. Finally, we have a date for the shipyard for the slip. So we're going to leave here on Father's Day. On Sunday morning, we're going to leave early and go up the coast, and that really puts a pressure on to finally get all the 1,000 little tiny jobs finished that you need to go to sea. Because we're going into a yard period, we're trying to think about all the work that needs to be done while we're in yard. We're trying to make sure that we have all the tools, all the supplies we need for that. Plus, we're thinking of all the things that we need to go to sea with. It's a longish trip for us these days. It's 2 days up to Pictou, so we need to try and make sure that we have all the things. And for the crew, it's the culmination of their spring refit, starting April 1st through until the high point of ABS certification, and then finally the real test, the sea, to make sure that they're worthy of passage. Kind of a complicated forecast. Looking at us for departure, we're trying to determine where a low pressure system is going to end up as it passes up the coast. Is it going to end up in the Northumberland Strait or in the Chedabucto Bay? And that sort of seemingly 100-mile difference makes the forecast tremendously complicated for our departure, and whether our crew are going to be happy on the trip or maybe not so happy for their first trip. And whichever way that the weather lands, it'll be a trip that they'll remember for the rest of their lives, and there's so many crews before them. So it's a big day Sunday, and we're looking forward to sneaking out of here probably in the fog and the rain and sailing up the coast.